What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with the man, the myth, the legend. JD, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
I kind of, if we didn't get it, wouldn't get copyright struck for it, I almost want the intro to this video to be the bump. Guess, or not the guess who's back. Oh, how does it go? Basically the Tom Brady Gronk, the we back.
Oh yeah,
I can't think of it now that I'm like out there. I'm like, oh, how does that go? The we back for life. But we back. We doing that. We've been doing a lot of NFL content. But JD was like, hey Ricky, why don't we talk a little hockey again? How about we talk a little hockey? Because the first round literally just ended, JD. We just watched. I thought it would be a game. I'm going to be surprised. Or I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised. The Rangers no-showed.
Nope.
The Rangers no-showed. And I remember one of my buddies was like, hey, man, like I like the under for this game. And JD, I didn't know under-over for this game 7 because I'm like, it could be the under. But for a little bit, I'm like, ooh, both teams are going to be buzzing, especially the Rangers, just try to score goals. And this is what the Rangers had. This is what they had, the big old goose egg. The goose egg. But we're back talking about all the second round games. And JD, before we get into everything, got a little update. First off, if you want to help support us, make sure that, first off, I should say welcome in. If you're new, old, welcome into MVP Sports. If you want to help support us, make these videos possible, check the Patreon link down below or become a channel member today. And also, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. It's the best community in all of sports. Go ahead and join that down below. Well, and other things. We have wrestling and entertainment chats as well. But JD, before we break down and start talking second round, I have a little update for you. We made predictions at the beginning of the playoffs, and overall, some of our predictions may have gone down the toilet. Just like March Madness, I'm ready to just, like, I posted a tweet the day before yesterday, and it was, I'll be honest, I put it on the MVP chat to poke you a little bit, like, ooh, look at how good Ricky's bracket is compared to JD's.
Yeah.
Not only do the Bruins lose, but the Avalanche lose, and I was like, well, okay, I kind of had that coming, because I was being confident before my eggs had hatched. But no, JD, after the first round, on our picks, how we do the records is we're getting a point for if we pick the team right that won, and we're getting a point if we predicted how many games that team would win. Now, if it was a thing like the Rangers, where we both picked the Rangers, but we picked 7, we would both get that wrong because you had the Rangers winning, not the Devils. So based on our records, JD, I am sitting on top of you right now. Pause. 8-8. You are a lowly 6-10. Do you think you're going to catch up to me with the second round? Do you think you can win the second round and catch up to me? I'm not that far ahead. I'm only 2 ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident now in my abilities now that I kind of have a clearer picture, and I think it's possible. Anything's possible.
All right, KG. Funny story. I say this all the time. Did you know that he wasn't supposed to say anything is possible?
I had no idea.
He was, I can't remember what shoe company it was, but it might have been Nike or something, maybe Adidas. He was supposed to say nothing is impossible because that was their campaign slogan. And what they were going to do is use that for like their commercials of him saying, nothing is impossible.
Anything possible.
But
better.
Instead he says anything is possible. And they're like, They just did that. They're like, great, we can't use it. Because everything else says, I don't know why they just didn't change it. Like, you know what? He said what he said. Let's just change it. Anything is possible.
Moments. It's like, one of the most iconic moments and sayings.
Yeah, but it was funny that he wasn't supposed to say that. He was supposed to say the opposite. But Welcome back. We're going to break down and talk about some second round action in the NHL. JD, we're going to do it just how we did the first one. We're going to start in the West, talk about them. We're going to start in the East, or end in the East, talk about them. We'll make our predictions at the end. First series we're talking about, the Kraken and the Dallas Stars. Both of these teams pick up play on Saturday at 8:30 Central. I think it's 8:30 Central time.
Wait, on Saturday?
No, not Saturday. I'm thinking today's Friday. Tomorrow, Tuesday.
Okay.
Forget what I said. I'm thinking today's Friday, JD.
Off?
No, I'm thinking today's Friday. They are playing on Tuesday, 8:30 Central time. Whew, makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
The season series between these three teams, or these two teams, they played 3 games. Stars are 2-1. JD, I'll start with you. Kraken may have surprised us. Can they do it again against the Dallas Stars?
I want to say no, but like I talked about in the first round predictions we did, the Kraken did exactly what I said they would have to do to win. Every chance that the Avalanche gave them, they capitalized on it. Now, unfortunately for them, the Stars are a better defensive team and they like to hold possession with the puck. So I don't know if they'll get as many opportunities to catch the Stars off guard there. But I mean, they're going to have to do the exact same thing. They're going to have to be a little bit better on the forecheck. And that says something because they killed the Avalanche on the forecheck in the last series. So I didn't think they would beat the Avs, and I don't think they're going to beat the Stars because the Stars did what I thought they would do. It was a close series with the Wild, but they just have too much offensive weapons. And Jake Ottinger, like I said, I think he had to be the X factor of that series, and I think he has to be the X factor of this series as well. Because even though the Stars are better defensively, as I just said, they're obviously going to give up chances, right? So I think he's going to have to make big key saves in each of the games, and hopefully the Stars offense can continue to be lethal.
Now, there's one thing I'm looking at here, and it kind of goes positive for the Kraken, but also these teams did the same thing. The first one that they both did, both of these teams after 3 games of their series were down. After being tied 1-1, Stars were down. They were down 2-1, rattled off 3 straight victories in order to win. Kraken kind of did the same thing, similar thing, where they went down 2-1 after stealing game 1. 1-2, lost 1, and then finished it in game 7 on the road. I look at this team and I go, the one thing that, like, that's the thing that, okay, both teams did the same. Who's going to start out quick? And JD, I will say, I might be leaning Stars. I don't know who I'm going to pick at the end of the day. If I be bold, like, first round was completely chalk in my opinion. This is who I think from the season. This is how many games, and it served me right. I'm 8-8. Should have been better. But I look at this, and the one thing I question is Dallas in game 1. Will they come out sharp? Because in game 1 against the Wild, it's not that they weren't sharp. It's that they had a close game. They lost it in overtime. Whereas Seattle, they came out and even though it was a 3-2 game, they punched the Avalanche in the mouth. They punched them in the mouth, kept them on their balance or off balance the rest of the series. I wonder if the Kraken can do what the Wild did in the first series of, hey, we're going to win game 1. The only difference is I feel like if the Kraken win game 1, they may be able to have the swagger, the road warrior ability to win more games and make this more of a series than the Wild made it against the Stars. And I'm talking about a team that still went to 6 in the Wild to lose to the Stars.
Yeah, I think game 1 is going to be crucial for the Kraken. Even if they don't win, I don't think it'll be a 4-0 sweep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're going to need that momentum because like we talked about leading up to the first round, the Avs had a lot of injuries going in, or key injuries, right? But this Stars team is relatively healthy. Again, their goaltending is hot right now. So for the Kraken, because they're still the underdog, so they'll still have that underdog mentality.
Mm-hmm.
If they can come out flying and pull out, it doesn't have to be pretty, but just a win in game 1, I think that could honestly change the series. I think either way it'll be close. But for the Stars, I think it's especially because the Stars have been having more rest. They have more rest in between rounds. I think for them, they have to come out and dominate right from the start.
Now, the one thing I will say, and this is one thing that I'm like, ooh, let me look up before I see it. So the Kraken this year, 26-11, 26-11-4 on the road. The Dallas Stars, 22-10-9 at home, 25-11-5 at home. Kraken have been the better road team all year. When you look at the 3 games that the Stars and the Kraken have played this year, the 2 in Seattle went to Dallas, the 1 in Dallas went to Seattle. So there's a part of me that thinks, will Seattle be able to do what they did in Series 1, where 3 of their 4 wins in Series 1 came in Colorado? That to me is the linchpin. If Seattle can find a way to win on the road, that will make life very hard for Dallas. And I almost have a feeling this could go 7. But the Kraken to me could be that team of like we see in football, where like the Giants, the wild card team, comes in, gets hot, starts moving. If I'm a Stars fan, I'm not overlooking the Kraken by any means.
No, 100%, because just like we'll talk about later on, the Avs weren't no pushover.
No.
Like, so if this team that no one expected to win beat them, well, then you need to really focus in, because I mean, some people had the Avalanches going back to the Cup. So yeah, you're one of them.
Some people, JD, you could just say you.
No, I wasn't just thinking about you, but because there's a common thing. So if I'm the Dallas Stars, I'm like, oh, like my ears are all pointed up, and I'm getting ready. But I don't know if necessarily I agree with the Kraken having to be like the complete road warriors, because
I'm just saying if they are, it's going to make this series interesting.
Yeah, because I think like that they're gonna have to be better at home. Because in all sports, I don't know how I feel about we're the road warriors. We're better on the road than we are at home, because it's called home court advantage for a reason. You know,
home ice.
Have to. Well, yeah, home ice, home field, whatever. Either way, you get.
You say home court, you're thinking of Boston, thinking of the Celtics.
Oh yeah, don't remind me. But. Yeah, no. So like you have to take advantage of that. You can't just rely, oh, don't worry, we'll get them on the road. Yeah. No, because you have to do both. You know? But yeah, I think I have the Stars winning. You know? So, but I have the Stars, and I want to say Stars in 6.
We'll do predictions later, JD. We'll do them at the end. I didn't want to spoil mine. We're gonna do them at the end because I'll be honest, I don't know who I'm gonna pick yet. I know how many games. I'm going to sit here debate. I'm going to sit here and kind of debate in my head a little bit after we talk about things.
Okay.
I will lock in. So we'll do all our predictions at the end. The next series, though, in the West, this is pretty much both you and I had this series in the second round. Oilers, Golden Knights. This series will kick off on May 3rd. So this will kick off on Wednesday in Vegas. When it comes to the season series against these teams, the Oilers won 3 of them, 1 in Edmonton, both of them in Vegas, and then the Golden Knights did take one of the games in Edmonton. So Oilers 3-1 on the series. Oilers probably have, to me, the more octane offense in this kind of series. I mean, I'll be honest, JD, the Golden Knights will be no walkover, but can the Golden Knights get past the offense of the Edmonton Oilers?
Man, the Oilers look better than I thought that they would have in the first round. You know, the Kings gave them a decent run, but
Kings gave them more of a run than I thought. Like,
yeah.
I had Edmonton in 7, but I didn't expect the Kings to look as good as they did.
Yeah, you and I talked about it, right? And I kind of said it was going to rely on goaltending and I was right about one of the things, because I said that goaltending is going to cost the Oilers at least 1 or 2 games, and it did.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Golden Knights have what it takes to outscore the Oilers, because now that we got 1 round under our belt, I mean, the Oilers offense continues to look really good, even though McDavid isn't having the complete postseason that you would have expected. He's still having, by every other player's standards, a good postseason, right? But if the Golden Knights want to win this series, they gotta slow the game down. They gotta do whatever they can to just mug up the middle of the ice and like keep everything to the outside. And they gotta try to win these games like 3-2, like 2-1. Like, because if they try to get into a foot race with the Oilers, it's just not gonna work out. And Vegas's goaltending, it hasn't been bad, but it kind of concerns me.
I was going to ask you that question, though. Like, there were a couple people that were questioning, why did we get Jonathan Quick if Jonathan Quick's not playing in the playoffs? Like, the whole consensus was, Jonathan, wait, the guy with the playoff experience isn't going to play in the playoffs? Like, we're not going to do that? We're not doing that now. And, like, there's a part of me that goes, I understand, because Jonathan Quick to me isn't the Jonathan Quick of old. No pun intended. He's lost a step or two. He's not as quick as he used to be. But I look at Winnipeg and I go, okay, you were able to get punched in the mouth by Winnipeg. Punched in the mouth and then win off 4. It was a gentleman's sweep, it was the true meaning of a gentleman's sweep. Here's game 1. We'll literally sweep you the rest of the games. I'm going to put you in the shoes, JD, of you're the Vegas Knights head coach. Congratulations. You've been promoted to the job. You earned it. You're walking into the locker room with your Leafs jersey on, not sending mixed messages at all. Are you keeping the goaltending the same? Or are you saying, you know what, that worked for us here. The Oilers are different. We're going with Johnny Q in Series 2.
That's really tough. I think I would give Quick game 1 because game 1 doesn't always make or break the series, right? Because yes, the Knights not swept, but they won in 5.
They basically swept them after game 1.
I'm looking though, like, I mean, they won 5-2, 5-4, 4-2, and then 4-1. So on paper, the goaltending really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But there were some shaky moments for them. And I don't know what we should take away from that series, because like you and I talked about, the Jets aren't like at least I didn't think the Jets were very good. And look at all the turmoil that's happened since they lost that series. You have the leadership group of that team like butting heads now with the head coach saying he's disgusted with the team. And it's exactly like what I said. I said that team has leadership issues.
Yeah.
This leadership group has been through 3 coaches in the last 18 months.
I mean, I'd be disgusted with a team too that looked like one of hockey's best teams before the All-Star break, then looked like one of hockey's worst teams post All-Star, into the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
we mentioned it in the first video we did, and I said it. The Jets pre All-Star break and then after All-Star break, two completely different teams.
Mm-hmm. And like, I know we're talking about the Golden Knights here, but I go on to say that because I don't know really what to make of the Golden Knights. They did what I thought they would do, but they didn't really impress me. And the Oilers, on the other hand, the series was kind of like what I thought it would be against the Kings.
Yeah.
But the Oilers look better defensively than I thought. And again, like, are you going to keep? Is McDavid going to keep being mediocre or just slightly above average, or however you want to word it for McDavid standards? I don't know. So this series is honestly like really up in the air for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I one team, like I mentioned earlier, one team is a high offensive team. The other one, I like the Golden Knights. I think they're a strong team, but I think you hit the nail on the head of like, because the Golden Knights did exactly what we thought they would in Series 1, it almost is like you kind of question that confidence of like, oh, well, okay, I thought you would do that, but like, you didn't show me anything on top of it, where the Oilers kind of showed me, all right, their offense is banging. There were so many times too that they faced adversity within games. And like, I'm not saying the Golden Knights didn't. The Golden Knights, to me, the game that kind of propelled that series is, I can't remember if it was their second or third win, but it went to overtime, went to double overtime, and they won it very early in double overtime. That's a game where if they lose, changes the complexion of the series. But like, the Oilers showed me, like, even in game 6 where they won, you mentioned the poor goaltending. Skinner, yes, something happens with his stick, gives up the puck, boom, easy goal. Tie game at that point. Oilers like, in that game, it was Kings would tie it, Oilers would respond. Kings then tied it because Skinner gave it to them. Oilers responded immediately. And that's what I feel like. A little bit more confidence in the Oilers, but hey, the Golden Knights are a team that shouldn't be slept on because they're a good team. That's why they're here.
Yeah, and exactly that. Like, I'm not trying to diminish what the Kings did this season, because not a lot of people expect them to be in the playoffs. But that's the thing. In that situation where Skinner's stick broke and gave the puck right to, I think it was Kempe who scored.
Yeah.
If that happens to the Golden Knights, like, I don't think that's going to cripple them. Like I don't think I can't see the Oilers responding instantly. So because I think
there's a good chance that the Knights then build momentum off it, because their players are more experienced than the Kings players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just think the Knights are a more complete team. So
moving on, let's go over to the Eastern Conference. JD, get a smile on your face. Before we get into the first series, I just want to ask you, and I want to get I'm going to call it your Steve Dangle moment. You get to basically put online for everyone to see and for all of eternity, because everything we put online lives forever. What does it mean to you, and how do you feel you finally got to see your team win a first round series?
Oh man, well, I was honestly, dude, like, I was with some buddies, and I told you the story off camera, but for everyone else, me and my one buddy were just watching the game, and as soon as the Leafs scored in overtime, my buddy leapt up out of his seat, and I was just sitting there, and like quiet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop. Like, no goal, puck was kicked in, goalie interference, anything. So I was waiting for about 3 seconds, and one of our other buddies was in the washroom, and then And then I just start losing my mind. Me and my buddy, we hug each other, and I was like, it didn't feel real. Even during the handshake line, I'm like waiting for the refs to call everybody back or
Uh-huh.
something. But no, it's honestly like, again, I was alive for the last series win, but I would have been like 4 years old,
Hmm.
so I didn't have an understanding of it.
You
But
asked
it just,
me, I was just finishing my freshman year of high school.
yeah. So man, like it feels really good if I feel like I can actually believe in this team again because, well, like I didn't pick them to win that series because part of me thought they could win it, but I wasn't
Hmm.
going to be made like a fool for the 100th time believing in this team.
Hmm.
But it honestly, it's refreshing. I can enjoy being a fan of this team again. And it just, the city, like the whole vibe, even I don't live in the city right now, but even like out here, like where I live, like just the vibe at work is different. It's just, it feels good, man. It feels fantastic.
No. Wait a second. I lied.
What?
I wasn't a freshman in high school. I was graduating 8th grade. You want to know why that just hit me, JD? What
Why?
happened right after that season? Right after
Oh, the lockout.
the
The lockout.
lockout. So that
Yeah.
was around the time I was becoming a Lightning fan, and then the lockout
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. So you probably don't even remember it.
I don't. Because like I looked and I was like, oh 0304, and I'm like, wait, the lockout. And then I'm like, wait, but the lockout happened before it was in high school. And then I'm like, wait a second. So yeah, I was graduating high school or graduating 8th grade. I mean, JD at that time. I'm going to quiz you real quick. I'm sure you know this answer. Who did the Leafs beat in that '04 series?
It was Ottawa.
Who did you
Uh,
lose to in the second round?
Philly.
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 Okay. Okay.
Pretty
Like
sure. I'm pretty sure that was Lindros was on that Philly team.
I had a feeling that was seared into your mind, but
Like I said,
quizzing your
I don't
fandom a
remember
little
watching
bit.
it.
No,
I
no,
don't
I
remember
know, but
watching it.
you know who they lost to.
Yeah.
So you don't get the Boston Bruins, JD, like we thought you were gonna get. Unlike the Maple Leafs, the Bruins decided, you know what? We'll let you
They
guys
pulled a
be us
Leafs.
this year. Yeah,
They
we'll
pulled a
let you
Leafs.
guys be us this year. We'll be
Yeah.
you this year.
Yeah.
So you get Florida, Toronto. Toronto is 3-1 versus the Panthers this year. The only game that the Leafs didn't win was one of the two in Toronto. JD, I will ask you, how are you feeling as a Leafs fan? People can see it on your sweater. How do you feel as a Leafs fan? Are you confident now in this team, second round, unlike you were in the first round?
I'm cautiously optimistic. And I only say
I
no,
can never
and
get you to be confident, man.
no, because listen, so a lot of Leaf fans, even though they'll tell you they want Boston and all that,
Uh
which
huh.
again, for the story that would have been cool.
Street profits.
But
We want the smoke.
yeah, but people, I have a feeling people are being like, oh, the Leafs have an easy time now with the
Mm-hmm.
Panthers. You know, the Panthers barely
Mm-mm.
squeaked in. But if you would have watched that Boston series, like with Florida,
Mm-hmm.
Florida's the best forechecking team
Yeah.
in the league. And in that Leafs series, the Leafs were having trouble with, and Tampa's not a bad forechecking team by any means, but the Leafs were having so much trouble just getting outside of their zone because Tampa was always there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that does concern me because I feel like Florida has more killers in front of the net.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to capitalize on like banging and crashing the net. Now, on paper, the Leafs I think have the better roster.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe besides goaltending, but
Yeah.
it on the forwards and the D. Now, I I am like I think the Leafs could win this series,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not saying oh Leafs in four. Like no, like the Panthers are a good team. They're finding their groove now in the playoffs, which is the right time to find it. They got Matthew Tkachuk's having an unreal playoff, and if the Panthers make a deep enough run, there's a very good chance he's winning the what is it, The Art, or is it the Art Ross?
Your
No,
guess is as good as mine, man. Like
no.
the
Here,
hockey
I'm,
awards,
I'm
that's your
having.
aspect, not mine.
Well, he's going to be a runner up for the Hart,
Mm-hmm.
and here I'm just because I'm having a brain fart. It's also late, so
Yeah,
sorry.
you're good.
But the Conn Smythe, the Conn Smythe Trophy. If the
Oh,
Panthers make a
for
deep
your
play,
you were talking about for
there.
the playoffs? I knew that one. I thought you were talking about
Well,
regular season.
regular season, he's going to be a nominee probably
Hmm.
for the Hart, which is
Yeah,
the
but the
MVP
Conn Smythe for the
for the Conn
playoffs.
Smythe. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even know how I messed that up,
Yeah.
but
Let's not talk
anyway,
about Conn Smythes until we get closer to the cup, man. You got to
no,
get
but
there first.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Matthew Tkachuk,
Hmm.
like
He's
if the
having that
Panthers
well
make
of a
it,
playoffs
yeah,
already. Yeah.
he's doing everything. He's being the heart and soul of that team.
Hmm.
So that does worry me a little bit as a
Hmm.
Leafs fan, but I mean, yeah, you just the Leafs just won a playoff series. You have to feel confident in their ability to move far, but I'm not gonna go all the way and say, oh, Leafs are going all the way now.
And you shouldn't. And the thing that I think that my main thing about this series and what it's going to prove either negatively or positively for the Leafs is, does this team have that dog in them, JD? Do they have that dog in them to do what they need to do to win the cup? Because I'll tell you this, Panthers, after that series, win or lose, they got that dog in them. They're going to get, like, you are going to get, like, you and I are Steve Dangle fans. And Steve Dangle, before the game 7, said, oh, who do I want, Bruins or Panthers? He goes, I want whoever deserves to be there. Well, guess what? The way the Panthers played in that first round, they deserve to be here. You got that team. Now, the question is, and you said, like, one of the things throughout the series is like, oh, does this team have the heart? Are they going to, like, you can't take a play off or take a shift off against the Panthers.
No.
The Panthers have dogs that are going to get after the puck. They're going to get after the net. They are going to get after you physically. And the Leafs are going to have to match them in that. If the Leafs can't, it's not going to be a good series for Toronto, JD. That's all I'm going to tell you. Like, this is something where if the Leafs want to win, like, this is one where it's like, take all your analytics and your knowledge of the game, throw it out the window. Whoever plays harder is going to win this series. Whoever plays harder gets like, not dirty, but, you know, like, gritty is more the word I'm looking for. Like, gets into the nitty gritty, makes the hard plays, gets after the puck. That's the team that's walking home and going into the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, like with the Panthers, like they're gonna especially early in the series, I guarantee you're gonna see them just banging and crashing. Because
clanging and banging.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're gonna do everything they can to wear that Leafs team down because the Panthers are gonna try to make it a long series.
Yeah.
Because that's their best chance at winning by wearing the Leafs out and catching them off guard later in the series. Now, what the Panthers are going to do is there's not going to be many pretty plays in this game or in this series. Most of the goals, like, I'm willing to bet, are going to all come within 5 feet of the net. They're going to be just a bunch of bodies around the goaltending or the goalies, and it's just going to be a bunch of sticks everywhere. And you're not going to see many, I don't think, breakaway goals or cute, like, one-timers. I think it's going to be a bunch of chaos in front of the net.
Yeah, this and the Kraken Stars series are the two most interesting series in my mind. I still don't know. This is another one where I'm like, I don't know who I'm going to pick, JD. I'm going to be completely honest. I wish I could tell you, oh, I'm all on the Leafs. I can't tell you. Last series, though, Devils just finished off the Rangers right before we started recording this. They will take on the Hurricanes. That series starting on the 3rd on Wednesday. JD, I almost look at this one and I go, I think I like the Devils in this one because the Devils in their series, they played like that Devils team I talked about from earlier in the year, pre-All-Star break, where I was like, hey, this is a team that could win the cup. they played like that team in this series. And I'll be honest, the Hurricanes, even though they won in 6, I thought that the Hurricanes showed that they were beatable. And to me, I feel like the Devils might be the better team heading into this series based off of round 1.
Yeah, well, the thing is, these two teams play just two different styles of hockey, so it's going to be really interesting if we're just going to see a healthy medium of both. Because, like,
I forgot to say, series is tied 2-2 between them all during the regular season.
Okay,
go ahead. I cut you off.
No, it's fine. Because like the Panthers, the Hurricanes, the Hurricanes are they're this like fast banging team. And then on the other side you have like the Devils. They're this young team that's just high octane. They're not very strong on the puck. They don't have the biggest of bodies. They're just gonna try and outskill you. Now, typically that doesn't really work in the playoffs, but as we just saw, I don't even know, the Rangers couldn't do anything. They couldn't score. They couldn't figure out that Devils team. So this is why this is kind of a little like confusing for me, because I really didn't expect the Devils to win that series. I thought it would be close, but young teams like that aren't supposed to make it far. So I'm not sure. I think like I think I give the edge to the Hurricanes just off of talent, and I know we'll get into that later.
Yep.
But with the Hurricanes, like their goaltending, like it hasn't been bad again, but there's just been so many soft goals. So if you give the Devils those, then I think you're right. I think the Devils could be the team that ends up on top.
Yeah, I think another part of it is like Carolina, I expected them to beat the Islanders in 5. And every game that I watched between them and the Islanders, I just looked at the Hurricanes and I'm like, you know what? I just feel like you don't have it. And I wonder if momentum is going to be on the side of the Devils, to where this team, are they going to play with more emotion because like of how emotionally charged their series was? And is that going to carry them forward to where like, I feel like, to me, the momentum of the playoffs is more on the side of the Devils right now based on how their series is. And are they going to ride the Lightning into the second round, or are they going to let that die right here and let the Hurricanes start their own momentum in like game 1 or game 2?
I think you might have just nailed it, because the Devils, like you said, like this was
because young teams ride on momentum.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. So this was a hard fought series. The Devils looked like they were down and out after the first 2 games. And it became a war.
JD, after the first 2 games, I was worried the series wasn't going to go to 7.
Yeah, exactly.
I had Rangers in 7. I'm like, man, I should have just picked Rangers in 4.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, like you just said, the Hurricanes, their main objective is going to be score as quick. Obviously, score as quick as you can. Like that's pretty obvious, but I think that has to be their top priority. There is get that first goal and then take it from there. Put some doubt or throw some water onto this Devils like fire that they're cooking, because if not, then the Devils are just gonna take this spaceship all the way to the moon, because like that's just like you said, what young teams do.
JD, we've gotten to that point. I'll ask you, do you want to start in the West or start in the East with our predictions?
Let's go back to the West.
Kraken and Stars, who you got, JD?
I'm going to stick with what I originally said. I'm going to say Stars in 6. Again, I think it's going to be a very tight series, but right now, in my opinion, the Stars have the best goaltender in the playoffs. And I think just that alone is going to be enough to stifle what the Kraken have on top of the Stars offense.
I'm going to go bold here. I'm going to say Kraken in 6. Kraken in 7.
Yeah.
Because, like, the reason why I changed it is the only way I see the Kraken winning this series is if it goes to 7. And, like, I see the Kraken stealing a game or two. And I don't know, this team, I don't know if it was because of how bad the Avalanche were or how pesky the Kraken are. And I just have a feeling this team, like the Stars looked good, but they started off last series bad. And I feel like if they lose game 1 again, this Kraken team is not going to be like the Wild. They're going to stick around with them. So I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to say Kraken in 7. Oilers, Golden Knights. Who you got? How many games?
Oh, I just came to a conclusion about 2 minutes ago. I think I'm going to go Golden Knights in 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so my reasoning behind it, as good as the Oilers offense has been, like I said, I just don't think that they're going to be prepared to play a team as physical as Vegas and as defensively sound as Vegas. Now, the thing that concerns me again is the goaltending for Vegas a little bit. And again, when you're going up against McDavid, I mean, that's something scary. But with the Oilers, like, I don't know, man. I don't think you can just ride that offense because, yes, their defenses look better than I thought, and their goaltending hasn't been as bad. But like I said, if you give the Knights as many opportunities as you gave the Kings, I think the Golden Knights are going to capitalize on it a little bit more often, and that will be enough to gift a series.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give mine. I forgot I didn't give mine. I wrote it down. Edmonton in 6. This is a series I knew was going to happen. I picked Edmonton when we did our predictions early on. I'm sticking with it, especially after what I saw. I'll be honest. Girlfriend has kind of dragged me over into being a Vegas fan with how much I've watched the Knights this year. I would love for her sake if the Vegas Knights won. But I just look at this and I go, the Oilers are a better team. They're the better offense. McDavid will put it together. I think it's going to be a long series, but not the longest. I got Oilers in 6. JD, It is time. Panthers, Maple Leafs. What do you got?
Ooh.
You picked against your team last time and they won, so do you keep that going? Do you try to bet against them so that you jinx yourself?
I wish you didn't say that, man. Oh, nah.
Now I'm playing the mind games with you.
Nah, no, I can finally root for pick my team again now that they've proven me wrong. So I'm gonna say Leafs in 7. Now, part of me, I think it could end a little earlier, but my thinking with this is the Leafs along this journey that they're taking right now. They finally go over the hump of getting out of the first round. This series is going to be about exercising their Game 7 demon. So I think that's what I'm going with. I think the Panthers are a great team. I think they're criminally underrated. They're playing hockey, or they're playing their brand of hockey at the right time of the year. But ultimately, I think the Leafs' firepower is a little too strong for the Panthers.
JD, Toronto in 7. Like, this is one where I feel like at first I'm like, the Panthers, right now, if I had to answer the question, who's got that dog in them? Panthers have that dog in them more so than the Leafs. But that doesn't mean the Leafs can't prove that wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel like this series is going to go 7. The Panthers are going to make it go 7. But I do feel like what you said, the Leafs have that firepower. I do feel like this is this is kind of working out to be potentially the Leafs' year to get to the finals.
Oh, you! Oh,
I said potentially, like the Panther. Like if this was the Bruins, I would have a completely different take. I would have picked Boston, but like, let's be honest, the Rangers lost too. The two favorites in the East went down in the first round. If the Maple Leafs are gonna put it all together, this is a perfect shot for them too. I'm not gonna say they are. I'm saying if they decide to put it all together, JD. Last series, Devils and Canes. Who you got and why?
I
already have mine written down. This is one where I knew right away what I was doing.
I'm gonna say Hurricanes in 6.
Okay.
Part of me wants to say Hurricanes in 5, honestly, because kind of like what I hinted on. I actually see it playing out like I said the Hurricanes have to do. I think they're gonna score quick. And I think they're going to just put water on that fire that the Devils are creating. I think they're going to slow them down. I think the goaltending is going to improve for the Hurricanes. And I think they're going to get those timely goals. The Hurricanes have been here before. They know what it takes to win in the playoffs. And this Devils team is still, yes, they've won a hard-fought series, but they still need to continue to figure it out. And I think the Hurricanes are just going to show them a thing or two.
JD, this reference may go right over your head because I'm older than you. Call me David Putty, Devils in 7. Do you know who David Putty is? Have you ever seen Seinfeld?
I mean, I might have seen the episode.
In the show Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld's amazing show. There's a character called David Putty, who's a Devils fan. And in the episode, they go to the Devils game. He's got Devils jersey on. He's face painted devil with the horns. Call me David Putty, Devils in 7. Because this team, I'm riding the Lightning with them. They're going to go to a game 7. They're going to win and be the team. It's going to be Leafs and Devils in the Eastern Conference Finals.
That'd be pretty
interesting enough, you and I differ on 3 of the 4 matchups. And what's funny is none of us have these being short series, all of them having go at least 6. I have 3 game 7s. Does that usually happen? Do most of them go like 7 games? There's a part of me that goes, did I pick too many game 7s?
And that's kind of what I was thinking in my head. Because part of me wanted to say,
no, if Carolina wins, it's going to be a shorter series.
Yeah, well, that was part of it, right? Yeah. So that's why I was just thinking, and then with the
but to be honest, it makes sense. I feel like yet again, if Dallas wins, it's not going to go 7. If the Kraken are going to win, it's going to go 7. Vegas, if they're going to win, it's going to be maybe a 7-game series. Oilers will be the ones to probably end it sooner. I feel like Panthers, Leafs, no matter who wins, that's going 7.
Yeah, that's going far.
And then the Devils, I feel like if they win, it goes 7. If the Hurricanes win, it goes 5 or 6. So it makes sense with what we're saying. It's just, I'm really, did I pick all the teams that it would take a game 7 for them to get to? But JD, any final thoughts before we wrap this shindig up for the second round?
Hey man, it feels good to actually be able to watch a second round hockey with a dog in the fight.
Let's hope when we do conference finals that you're still wearing that Maple Leafs jersey with pride.
Yeah. Well, also I just want to say too, it's really cool to see the teams that are actually there because I forget what the actual stat was, but every team that's in the Cup Finals, or sorry, the second round and
semifinals.
Yeah, no team has won the Cup before 2006, I think it was. Or at all. So we're getting a new champion and a new finalist for, besides, I think the Golden Knights were the last team in the Stanley Cup Finals out of all these.
Yeah, Golden Knights were the last one to make it. I mean, what, out of the rest of the teams?
Oh, no,
what?
Dallas made it to the Cup Finals in 20... 2019.
But you're talking about winning. Like none of these teams have won a cup.
Well, none of them have won it since.
But Vegas and Dallas have been there.
Yeah,
the soonest or the
most recent.
Out of the teams that have made a cup, because some of them haven't. Out of the teams that have made a cup, are the Leafs the furthest? Have the Leafs ever been to a cup? I can't remember.
The Leafs have 13 cups. We haven't won a cup since
I don't know Leaf history. Are they the longest? Is this like a cup situation where it's like hundreds of years?
Well, the last time they won a cup was 1967.
All right. Close enough. Mine was 1910, JD, or something like that. So mine was like 100 and something years before my team finally broke through. But let us know what you guys think down below. Play along with us. What are your predictions? How many games? How do you see these series going? Let us know down below. If you want to support the channel, help these videos and make these videos possible, go ahead, become a patron down below or a channel member. And if you want to join the Discord's completely free. You can join that down below as well. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back after the second round to preview the Cup Finals, and then we'll be back after that to preview the Stanley Cup Finals. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.